My name is Issam Kazim. I'm the CEO of Dubai Tourism.
Good afternoon, a real pleasure to see you once again here in Dubai. A very exciting time for the Emirates, Expo 2020. It's been a long wait, but it's been worth it.
Definitely. I think it's been something that we've been planning for quite some time. Since winning the bid, everyone's been excited about it. We broke ground in 2016, and 5 years later, you have an amazing, unbelievable city, a full-fledged city that's up and running, vibrant, with so many experiences to be had. And it's already, you can see from the opening week plus, that it's packed, jam-packed with people excited to really explore every single pavilion. What are the countries bringing to Dubai? What are they showcasing? But at the same time, we are proud to be a city that is home for close to 200 nationalities. And now we have 192 country pavilions participating and celebrating in Dubai.
It's obviously a very ambitious project on the outskirts of Dubai there as well. But when it closes in March, there's ambitions to sustain it after that as well. And it's going to be a whole new region of the city.
Yes, of course. I mean, the thing is, usually what happens is with the Expo and any such big event like that, there is the legacy aspect, right? And people always plan for the Expo, and then they also start planning for what the legacy would look like. In Dubai, it was, I think, slightly different because we were already considering the legacy aspect even before the site was there. So you can see already that the exhibition facilities that they have over there are set to the standards that are needed for Dubai's ever-growing exhibition calendar. We have one of the busiest calendar of events globally. So I think it just is a natural extension of what Dubai already does. You have a lot of multinationals and a lot of companies that have already set up shop in Dubai. And Siemens, one of the key partners to the event, for example, they have their global logistics hub that's going to move to Dubai and be part of where the Expo destination and the address is. So I think those are the kind of things that you're already seeing happening even before the Expo is anywhere near ending. So it's just a natural extension of what Dubai has to offer. And also, it's a city that's built with the future in mind. So there's a lot of thoughts now being put into place about bringing a lot of tech engineers and designers and others within that space to come and set up shop within the Expo location.
It's a real long-term vision for the city there. It's no secret that the last 18 months have been quite challenging for global hospitality, obviously with the global pandemic. Dubai was one of the first cities to reopen in June, July last year. Where do we stand now with the sort of rebuilding of the market?
I think if you look at it from how Dubai approached the pandemic, right? We were coming off of a very successful 2019. We had about 16.73 million tourists that came through Dubai, really strengthening our position on that number 4 from the globally most visited cities internationally, right? And I think we were well underway. Even the first 2 months, we had record-breaking period of time. It was about a 4.2% growth compared to the year prior to that. March comes around. You know, the whole world goes into lockdown. We were one of the first cities and first countries to actually go into a proper lockdown. And the way that the city reacted from a private and public sector, it was amazing. We had an app that was launched within a week that people would register an emergency need for them to be able to leave their house, and they will get a message that alerts them, that tells them, yes, you are allocated that window with the plate number and everything for you to be able to go and conduct that need and come back again. So things were run very, very efficiently. While that was happening, there was a full sanitization program that was going across the entire city, every corner, from external to internal buildings, roads, streets, whatever it is, was completely being sanitized. As well as full teams sitting together with private and public sector, aligning on the policies and procedures that they will need to add to what already exists because of the new pandemic and managing the COVID situation that we found ourselves in. And then, proudly, we were one of the first cities to open up globally. In May of 2020, we opened up for domestic tourism, and we had initially started it in a very, very strict way, very strict, even more so than needed, but we wanted to be safe, right? And then what we started to do was we started to pull out all of these new procedures, understand what's working, what's not working, what can be tweaked, what can be adjusted, what can be loosened a little bit to become a bit more comfortable for people, and then find that right balance. So, for example, in May, we also had some domestic events that took place, and people would attend shows. So when they come into a show, how it was a staggered approach. So they would be allocated a time for them to come and queue. And during that time, again, safe distancing, going into the halls, safe distance measures being in place. Once the show's over, they leave. A full team goes in, sanitizes the entire space, and then the next set of viewers will go in, or customers would go in. So those are the kind of things that we had put into place. Once we found that perfect balance between safety and I would say business continuity, we opened up in July for global tourism. So I think it kind of shows you that it was the time that Dubai put their hand up and said, you know what, it's a global pandemic, everyone's going through this. Rather than wait, someone has to take that initiative. Dubai put his hand up and said, let us learn and adapt and apply these new policies and procedures, and hopefully others can follow. And what was great is that while we were doing this, we were communicating it on all of our mainstream partner channels, and ensuring that the world recognizes what efforts Dubai is doing. And again, like I said, to learn from what they're doing. But more importantly, it also kind of like gave us the opportunity to engage and stay in continuous dialogue with our audience. On the other side, we also had messages, which usually would be platforms for campaigns, but talking about a Till We Meet Again campaign, which is really communicating with the world, telling them, you're going through something right now. It's a pandemic, it's global. It's affecting all of us, including Dubai. So we're showing them beautiful sceneries of Dubai, but completely empty. You know, and telling them, look, we're not going anywhere. Think about yourself, think about your safety right now, and because that's far more important. And till we meet again, Dubai's still here, you know, and we're also missing you just as much as you're missing traveling. So it was a nice message, and we saw that it started to garner a lot of engagement, conversation, dialogue, sharing. And then we started to also notice that people are getting frustrated from being within their four walls. So they started to search about or dreaming about an escape. What will happen once the lockdown is over? And that gave us a chance to evolve that campaign into a Ready When You Are, and being a bit more playful with our messaging. So showing someone, for example, practicing putting in their living room, and then we show them an empty golf course, but someone is actually perfectly manicuring the greens and telling them, you know what, you're practicing and we're getting ready, so ready when you are. And that again got very good engagement, and that led us into a campaign that once we did open up, called Live Your Story, which is you dreamt it, you imagined all of these things, you created these itineraries, dream itineraries. Now why don't you come and live that experience in Dubai as well? We got awarded the Safe Travel Destination from the World Travel and Tourism Council, which was great. It was recognition of all the efforts that were being put into place. But we didn't stop there. We launched our own program with our partners called Dubai Assured, because our inspectors will go out and make sure that these new safety procedures are being actually practiced. And it's not about just achieving the Dubai Assured stamp, but it's actually maintaining it. So they have spot visits that they will do at least once every 2 weeks to ensure that these best practices are in play.
Some fascinating headlines there, and such a pleasure to see you again today. I really thank you for your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. The pleasure was all mine.